So the Cody Ko situation, quite a few people have been reaching out to me via Instagram, Twitter, even the comment section right now. So Cody Ko is a YouTuber with 6 million subscribers. This is one of the only commentary channels that is this type that I genuinely enjoyed. I've been watching Cody Ko for years, and it turns out that he allegedly did some pretty weird stuff. This is my first time experiencing a content creator that I like being called out and exposed as a horrible person. So when people said, oh, you know, I was a Mini Lad fan and that was heartbreaking, or I like DDP and Cupcake Incident, it's heartbreaking, or Dr. Disrespect, that's heartbreaking. I never related to that because I never cared about those YouTubers. Like, I was never invested, but this situation is a little different. So now I know how it feels like for something like this to happen. Cody Ko, at the time of this recording, has responded. This guy right here, who goes by D'Angelo Wallace, made this huge video, and I was like, holy shit, this guy has to respond. There's no getting out of this one. Cody Ko, we need a response. This is not something you can just hide away and pray and never comes back to you. And ever since then, Cody Ko has been bleeding subscribers. At the start of the month, he lost 10,000 subscribers, and ever since the D'Angelo Wallace video dropped, he's lost 60,000 subscribers. So it's not looking too good for him. If you go to the comment section under his last video, we go from, you know, positive comments to how come all of our childhood influencers turn out to be freaks? This has to be a canon event for big YouTubers. Dog, this can't be real. And if you click by recent or newest first, it just, yeah, it's what you would expect. I think I saw someone call him C. Diddy. Yeah, C. Diddy, time to go. That is crazy. Now, I want to make one thing very clear. These are just allegations for now. Cody hasn't said anything for better or for worse.
All right, Cody, let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mongeau. And you know that people are ignoring this because nobody is working harder to bury this story than you. And you're getting away with it because commentary YouTube has a serious problem. I can't blame any of your viewers or my viewers for not hearing about this because you've done such a good job hiding it up until now that I only found out about it recently. The situation has been talked about by smaller channels, it's been discussed at length on other platforms, and it keeps almost hitting the mainstream, like with this Rolling Stone article or this H3 podcast discussion. But the reason it hasn't caught on yet, despite all of this, is that none of your friends, nobody on your level, nobody in the commentary niche with enough pull is willing to admit that this situation makes you look terrible.
I mean, I'm not here to defend Cody. I don't want that to come across like, yeah, I like his content, but, you know, it's not like I'm gonna fight for him and defend him here. Of course not. I gotta be fair. I'm fair with people that I like, that I don't like. And I have a theory that the reason why people didn't believe it in the first place, or why it took a minute for this to catch on, it's because it came from Tana. Tana doesn't have the best reputation, and that's not me taking away anything from her in this situation. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying I understand why people would hesitate to trust Tana. You know what I mean? I'm just stepping into the shoes of the casual viewer who just sees a random headline. Tana Mongeau says she slept with Cody when she was 17. They're like, well, that's Tana. You know, how can we believe her? Once again, for the record, I'm not saying I'm saying that, nor do I believe it. I'm just saying for the casual viewer who's not invested in this like we are, it's very easy to dismiss because you don't have the best credibility. The average person is not online on Twitter 24/7 looking at the drama on a drama subreddit. You know, they have a life. They're not like me. They have a life. They got school, they got work, they don't got time to do all of that. So I think that's the reason. And it's Cody, the golden boy of YouTube, the golden boy of commentary. I don't agree with it, but I see why.
I'm not here to accuse you of committing a crime in this video because I can't do that based on someone else's allegations. Nobody can definitively take these allegations as proof, but at the same time, they should still be looked at and not treated as an open secret and swept under the rug like you've been doing for so many years now. And from the way the situation keeps popping up more and more often, it's clear that there's only so much rug sweeping you can do before people start taking a closer look at things. So let's take a closer look. We both know that Tana Mongeau is a YouTube personality with a history of lies, controversy, and genuinely problematic behavior that's become so entangled with her brand that her podcast is called Cancelled with Tana Mongeau. And speaking of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say
This clip started making the rounds and people were understandably perturbed because if Tana Mongeau was 17, you would have been 25. So people started speculating and Tana decided to set the record straight.
I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25.
She claims that not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear, 17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mongeau is accusing you of statutory rape.
I had to look up the age of consent because I was just curious of what it was across North America. I'm not from the US, so, you know, and it's not like I learned the age of consent across the world. I'm not some Redditor, okay? You know, D'Angelo Wallace is in line. The age of consent in Florida is 18 plus. I don't know if this is a hot take, but to me, as long as it's legal and you're not breaking the law or, you know, taking advantage of someone or using your power to leverage yourself, as long as everything is legal, I really don't care. Now, there are exceptions. If someone's like 40 years old and they're hooking up with a 16-year-old, I could see the conflict and the morals there. Like, sure, you're not doing anything illegal, but it's still really fucking weird. Or even someone that's like 30 years old hooking up with a 16-year-old just because it's legal. That's weird in my opinion. And of course, not universal, because I know people are going to be like, oh, sensitive by that logic. You would be cool with an 80-year-old hooking up with a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old if that's ever legal. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. But if the ages are closer, that's completely fine as long as it's legal and everyone consents and it's all good. Now, in this situation, yeah, brother might be cooked. If he was 25 hooking up with a 17-year-old at a state where it's 18 plus, it might be over, guys. And the fact that someone, Gabby Hanna, told Cody, yo, listen, she's underage, she's 17, you're 25. The state is 18 plus. You should really chill out. The fact that that happened and he still did it is pretty scummy. If you didn't know, that would be one thing, even though you should always ask for the age. The whole legality of it is pretty cut and dry in my opinion. Like if the state is 18 plus, you're 25, you hooked up with a 17-year-old, it's over.
It was a crime.
Nothing would make this situation better, but plenty of things make it worse, like the fact that she was a fan of yours at the time, adding an additional layer to the power dynamic you would have had over her.
I grew up loving him, and I think you know what I mean? Like I was just like excited and a fan.
Tana seems to have many feelings about this, which we'll go over a bit later, but she stated very clearly that the actions she's accusing you of are inexcusable.
If I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something, like I would kill. I would never let it fly.
These recent allegations are bad enough on their own, but there are a couple of things that make them worse still. Things that many people don't know yet, but you do. You know that Tana has been making this same specific claim against you for years now. Here she is back in 2021 saying the same thing.
I was 17 at the time, 18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Ko.
But what lends the most credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really the most damning thing for you, Cody, is a clip that you might not have even seen yet. See, I read the Rolling Stone article, I watched the YouTube videos about this, and they all missed something. The clip I'm about to show you is extremely hard to find. Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
Oh yeah, if that happened, if you got a warning and he was like, yo, I'm so sorry, parties happen, people pretend to be 18 plus and then stuff like this happens. But if you got a heads up and you still went ahead and did it and not only stopped at the making out part, but you also took it further, yeah brother, you might be fucked here. If tomorrow or the day after, because I'm sure Cody is 1000% aware of this right now, if tomorrow he makes a video saying, yes, this happened indeed, it's over. Cody has a large female audience and they're not going to support this. They're not going to stand by it. And if it does, then, you know, fuck this guy 1000% for doing this, for taking advantage of someone like that. If you didn't know, that's one thing, but the fact they gave you a heads up and you still went right ahead, yeah, that's a horrible look for you. The quicker you get a response out, the better. If you're innocent. Yeah, I do think if this is true and he confirms it, it's going to kill his channel. And the worst part is that he recently became a daughter, and not a daughter, what the fuck? And the worst part is that he recently became a father, and this should be obvious, but no one should be sending hate to Cody's wife. She didn't do anything wrong as far as we know. Leave the kid, leave her out of this, because I went to her YouTube comment section. The comments there are nasty. If you want to get nasty, just leave it under the Cody one. He's the one facing the allegations, not the wife.
In a situation that cannot be proven, corroboration by a third party goes a long way. And frankly, Cody, the allegations against you seem to have been corroborated. But instead of researching to find these answers like I did, many of your fans seem far more interested in attacking your accuser.
I have seen so many comments, but what was she wearing? It's Tana, so who cares? Well, it's Tana Mongeau.
The reaction to this has been unsurprising but incredibly disappointing, demanding proof that they know she can't provide, acting like she's only doing this to gain clout or ruin you somehow, despite the fact that she's never once put your name in a video title over this, or worst of all, implying that a 17-year-old could have truly consented to any of this. But let's be clear about one thing. That is not the case. No amount of retroactive age calculations or what-if scenarios change the fact that what Tana described would be, objectively speaking, a crime.
The law is the law. If it's 18 plus, it's 18 plus. If it's 17 plus, it's 17 plus. If it's 16 plus, it's 16 plus. I could see the argument if the guy was like 19, 20, and, you know, the girl was like 17 and a half. Even though the law is the law, and I agree with that 1,000%, I could see why some people would be like, well, it's like 6 months, guys. But 17 and 25, and we're not even talking about just like spicy DMs. They met, they hooked up. Like, that takes it to a whole different level. Don't see how anyone could defend this one.
The answer to why any of us should care is that a person has tried to come forward about her experience and has been met with the most vitriolic victim blaming I've seen in years. She's been dismissed, discredited, and disbelieved before anybody ever gave her a chance. Because it's Tana, which sets a horrible precedent that if a person runs out of goodwill, they lose the right to come forward with their experiences.
Just because it's Tana doesn't mean it should be dismissed. Like, I get it, she doesn't have the best reputation, but I don't think she's doing this for clout. Let's be honest, like, yeah, Cody Ko is huge, but I don't think this is a clout thing. I don't think she will be talking about it for 3-4 years just for clout. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I haven't seen the title called Cody Ko effed me when I was 17, part 65. I haven't seen anything like that, or her milking it or dragging it. You know, I definitely take cloud chasing off the whiteboard. I don't think that's the reason. I think she just wants to speak up and, you know, be honest with what happened. I'm personally not a fan of Tana Mongeau. I'm clearly not the target audience. I don't hate her by any means, but it's just like, you know, it's not my content. But just because I don't like her or because I don't watch her doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to her, or at least take it into consideration.
Because I know that if Tana's allegations are true, then silence would be your only option, since telling the truth would be tantamount to confessing to a crime, and lying would put you at risk of being contradicted by a witness. And like I told you at the beginning, I'm not accusing you of committing a crime, but even if what Tana says is false, your silence is still grossly incompetent at best.
I put myself in people's shoes, in people's situations when stuff like this comes out, and I'm like, if someone was accusing me of doing this, and it got this big, would I stay silent, or would I respond? Now, if I did nothing wrong, I'm talking about it within a week. Now, granted, this video has been out for a day. Anything you can pull to prove your innocence, right? Well, now it's time to either respond or lose your career.
Know that you've already lost fans over an eerily similar topic. You used to frequently feature and promote your college friend Colby Leachman in your videos until it came out that during your school days, Leachman's university put him on probation for, as a United States District Judge would later put it, the non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, showing the video to other people, lying to the police about the video, and behaving horribly to that individual and at least one other woman. To make matters worse, the woman in the video also alleged that Leachman drugged her before the recording and that she hadn't actually consented to anything at all. You had this man in your videos. You were telling us to follow him on Instagram, and at some point you did wise up, so he's no longer part of your content, but he still seems like he's very much a part of your friend group. From the continued hangout since then,
this is completely unacceptable. If I had a friend, because I don't have any friends, but if I had a friend and they had these, I mean, these are not even allegations at this point. They had these things against them, horrible things that they did to a girl, I would immediately drop them. I would not continue to hang around. I don't care if they're my best friend. I'm gonna be real. I would never want to surround myself around those kind of people. Why Cody continues to invite him to weddings and to hang out and all of that is beyond me. This is someone you cut off immediately. The second the facts drop, I'm not saying you drop them if there's allegations. No, wait. But the second the facts come in, that's when you should drop the person, in my opinion. That's what I would have done. I'm gonna block your number now, and I don't ever want you to speak to me ever again, bitch.
Inviting him to your wedding just last year, people are under the impression that you're best friends with someone who, at best, committed an illegal sex act and at worst is an alleged rapist. And no matter how many times people rediscover this information over the years, you refuse to say anything at all. You could clarify this, but you won't. But now your cowardice has reached a new low. You've tried speaking and you've tried silence, and now you're choosing censorship.
Feel bad for Tana? Yeah, I feel bad for Tana. No one should ever go through something like that. And hopefully Cody has the balls to respond, say something, tweet something. Yeah, this situation is just sad and it's tragic and I hate it. Now I know how people felt when Dr. Disrespect got exposed. I feel your pain. But at the same time, if this does turn out to be real, then 1000% fuck this guy. But with that said, what do you guys think of the situation? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe out there. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time, all right? Peace out.